Hey guys, Michael from Copper vs Glass, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Apple Airpod 2s. Now, there's going to be a little bit of a twist to this video. Most of the time, a ton of people review these with the newest iPhone or an iPad or a Mac. However, today we're going to be looking at how well it works with Android. So, let's take a look. So first off, we have the unboxing, and I don't really have any wireless chargers, so for me I've gone with the standard newer version of the AirPods for £159. However, you can get it with the wireless charging case for £199, or get the case itself for £79. So in terms of the packaging, in traditional Apple fashion, it is very simple, very compact, but it's got pretty much everything that you need. Designed by Apple in California, you do have some paperwork in regards to how the AirPods work and just in general how to actually pair them to different devices. We then have the headphones themselves, and yes, while it does look like dental floss, it's a very nice, very sturdy and very well made package. Lastly then, you do have the charging cable, which unfortunately hasn't really moved over to USB Type-C, so I'm pretty sure that the next iPhone is still going to stick with Lightning, so if you've got a ton of Lightning accessories, you're not really going to have too much of a problem. In terms of what's different with the AirPod 2s as opposed to the original, you do have hands-free Hey Siri functionality, you've got the updated H1 chip, so in terms of connectivity improvements that's definitely going to help. You've got 2 times faster switching between devices, so if you're going from your iPhone to your iPad to your iMac, it's going to be a lot faster than it was before. You've also got the addition of Bluetooth 5.0, which is definitely going to help out with the range as well, and you've got overall better battery life as well, so you're going to get an additional 24 hours of battery with using the actual case itself, and the talk time has increased from 2 hours to 3 hours. But today's video is all about using it with Android, so let's take a look. Now, when you first take them out of the package, you're going to have a white flashing light, and unfortunately you don't get any cool interactivity like you do with the iPhone or something like the Galaxy Buds where it has a little prompt. You will need to go into the Bluetooth settings of your device and then actually pair them manually. Now, this isn't really too much of an issue, they come up pretty much straight away for me, and then you're set and ready to go. Now, once you're all set and all paired, you'll see that the light on the inside is now green to show that they're pretty much fully charged, everything is connected. However, if the battery does go very low, then this light is going to change to red, and you can press the button on the back just to actually check the battery life. Now, in terms of the functionality of AirPods on Android, a list of things that isn't going to work is going to be Siri, customizing the double tap, automatic switching between devices, the simple setup that I mentioned earlier, checking the battery life, the automatic ear detection for play pause, and also single AirPod listening. You have to use both at the same time, and if you take one of them out, it's still going to continue to play in that earphone. So the stuff that will work is actually quite limited. If I double tap on the headphone, it's going to play and pause the music as you can see just here, and that's going to work on both the right and also the left hand side. Now also, if you do set up the earphones with an iPhone for example, then you do have the option to customize it so you can swipe backwards and forwards between tracks. However, doing anything like volume, you are going to have to actually use your device itself. One thing that I do appreciate though is the actual earphones turning off as soon as you put them into the charging case. So as you can see here, the music is playing through the earphones, and if I pop them back in the charging case and then close the lid, after a while it is then going to pause the music. As you can see in the background, it can take a little bit of time, but it's then disconnected the actual earphones themselves. Now if I click play, it's going to be playing through the actual phone itself. So again, in terms of connecting and disconnecting the earphones, it is very simple to do. Once you then take the earphones and reconnect them and take them out of the charging case, the music is then going to start to play through the earphones again. So again, it's really simple to do. If you do want to play the music or pause the music, you can just take them, put them in the case, and everything's going to pause. Everything's going to basically unsync for the meantime. So in regards to battery life and things, I would definitely recommend putting them back in the case to disconnect from the phone and also to save on the battery life. So overall, in regards to the functionality of the earphones, I would definitely recommend using them with an iOS device instead of Android. So for me, it's really going to come down to the sound quality of the earphones themselves. I also really enjoyed just snapping this case back together. The build quality of these headphones is actually really good. So let's talk about the build quality, and if you've used the original AirPods, or in general if you've used Apple earphones over the last 5 or so years, you're going to know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Now don't get me wrong, the case is extremely well built, it does have some nice magnets, the hinge can be a little bit loose from time to time, but in regards to an overall package, this is one of the smallest charging cases that I've seen, but it offers a ton of battery. As you can see down the bottom there, that's how the headphones actually charge as well. So again, once you've put them into the case, you're all charged and ready to go, no need to worry about actually plugging anything in. Unless of course the case has died, in which case you do need to use the lightning cable to actually charge back up the headphones. However, they charge from 0 to 100% in a very quick time, around about an hour and a half. I do also wish that maybe they came in some additional colours like the iPhone XR for example. In regards to the actual earbuds, again a ton of people have done a load of jokes about how these look once they're in the ear, but so many people are buying them now that I don't actually think they look that out of place compared to most other Bluetooth headphones. But for me, I just don't like the design from a comfort perspective. Now don't get me wrong, I actually don't think they look too bad, and if there were some different options for some ear tips for example, so that you could get a more customized fit, then I think that I would actually use these on a more regular basis, obviously with some additional functionality and some additional controls. However, I actually don't necessarily mind the look and feel. I personally though prefer some Bluetooth headphones that have a wire going between them, so that if I do want to take them out and lay them around my neck for example, I don't need to worry about losing them or putting this tiny earbud anywhere, and again you don't really want to lose these based on the price. So just like my Jaybird Freedoms that I'm currently using at the moment, which I've been using for around a year now, these are my go-to Bluetooth headphones for a ton of different reasons. Now I do like the fact that you do have this charging cradle, and again if you do want to actually unplug the micro USB cable, then again you can use this tiny little addition here to get some extra battery life out of the headphones themselves, because it just clips onto the actual microphone and the controller of the actual headphones. Now again I would like it to be USB Type-C, but maybe on another pair. The actual earphones themselves are also really nice in regards to the fit and finish. You do have the different ear tips and the wings that you can actually use just to get that perfect fit, and again all of the controls, volume up, down, play, pause, getting to the Google Assistant works perfectly fine with these earphones. Plus you do have that cable that I mentioned as well, so again if I want to lay these around my neck they're not really going to be going anywhere. Now as I mentioned before, you can get some additional battery life by actually adding basically the charger onto the headphones themselves, as you can see here, and then you're going to see that there's a little red light showing to let you know that you're charging and getting some additional battery life. But I'm sure you would agree that in regards to a complete package, this isn't necessarily the most easy thing to carry around. It's definitely going to get a bit tangled, so something like the AirPods for example, in a nice contained case, you can definitely see a massive difference here as well. Now I'll also be the first to admit that in regards to the battery life on the Jaybird headphones as well, you're not going to get anywhere near the battery life that you're going to be getting with the AirPods, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. Now I am still looking for that perfect pair of Bluetooth headphones that does have the USB Type-C charging cable, so if you guys know of any that definitely sound better than the AirPods or are on par with something like the Jaybird Freedoms, then let me know in the comments section down below, as I would love to check some out. But as always, now onto the sound portion of the headphone review, and again this is the bit that is the hardest to get across on video because sound on headphones can definitely be subjective. And I was actually very surprised with the AirPods and the sound quality. Now don't get me wrong, they're definitely not audiophile headphones or in-ear monitors, but the sound quality itself was actually alright. Now it's not the best out there and it's definitely by far not the worst, but in general I didn't really have any issues. The sound itself was actually quite clear, taking calls was very easy to do as the microphone does have that stalk, so it's a little bit closer to your mouth as well, and just in general the sound itself for voice, it didn't sound all that bad. However, when you do crank up the volume on some very bass heavy music or heavy metal, which is kind of the music that I listen to on a regular basis, then you do start to hear a little bit of crackle with the earphones themselves, and they don't necessarily sound that great at the highest volumes. Now for me, I am a huge fan of having my headphones quite loud, but with these there's not really any isolation in regards to sound, so it's definitely going to be leaking sound and also letting some outside sound in, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. If you're on any sort of public transport or anything like that, you really don't want to have these headphones too loud unless you want everyone to know what you're listening to. And don't laugh guys, but I did have to try and actually get the headphones out of my ear by shaking my head or jumping around, and they actually stayed in surprisingly well. Now this isn't definitely going to be the case for everybody, but for me the AirPods themselves actually do fit quite nicely. Now although this video is all about how they work with Android, I did also test them out with my iMac, and for me they actually worked way better. The connection itself was solid, there was hardly any delay in regards to the Bluetooth connectivity, and again you do do get that sometimes with Bluetooth headphones, where what you're watching on screen has a slight delay to the sound coming through. However, with the improvements with the connectivity of Bluetooth 5.0, the H1 chip in the newer version of the AirPods as well, it actually sounded and looked exactly as it would do if you were watching it on a TV, for example. So again, if you are going to be watching any movies, music videos, or even playing any games, then again, these headphones aren't actually too bad. So after everything that we've gone over in this video, would I recommend buying the AirPods if you do not have an iPhone, iPad, or anything Apple related? Well, although they sound okay and the fit and finish and just in general the general package is good, I would definitely have to say no. And the main reason is the actual sound quality and just in general that they don't function very well with Android. Now I think that this would be a perfect opportunity for Apple to release an application for Android where it does allow you to use the AirPods as they are intended. I think they would actually sell a ton more and it would be in their best interest to do so. Now whether that would work or not with the chipsets that are going to be in the headphones compared to the phone, I'm not too sure, but I think that would be a really nice option to see where you can actually use the AirPods natively on an Android device. But for me, the main issue with the AirPods is definitely the sound quality. I'm not necessarily willing to give up the sound quality of something like my Jaybird headphones or even my wired OnePlus headphones for something that yes may function quite nicely but doesn't sound anywhere as good as the competition. And with regards to the competition, if you guys want me to check out the new Galaxy Buds and do a little bit of a comparison, then let me know with a comment down below or just by liking this video. And that's pretty much going to do it guys for this video on whether the AirPods or the AirPod 2s are worth it with Android. Now as I mentioned beforehand, I don't necessarily think they are. However, if you do have an Apple ecosystem and you've got a ton of iOS or Mac devices, then I would actually recommend picking them up. In regards to functionality, ease of use, and just in general all of the features that you get, they are definitely worth it. Now the one thing that I did like is the fact that there's magnets in the headphones, you can play a little game. But apart from that, I'm definitely going to be taking these back to the Apple Store to get my money back. And again, if you guys want me to check out the Galaxy Buds, let me know with a comment down below or by giving this video a thumbs up. If you guys did enjoy this video, a like rating would definitely be appreciated. And if you're not already, now is a great time to subscribe to the channel. We're going to have a ton more videos coming out over the next couple of months in regards to anything to do with Android. So again, let me know in the comments below if there's anything specific that you want me to take a look at. If you've got any questions or comments about these headphones, let me know in the comments section down below or on Twitter at Copper vs Glass. And I'm Michael from Copper vs Glass. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.